Alright, we're back to this again. So, we're still doing some more Flynn stuff, waiting for things to be going down soon. But Chicago's actually making a bunch of moves. That's a first. So yeah, they're gonna start off with the Republic, then then the Belgian Army remnants, and then the Kivu cult. I think that's their name. And they can choose whether Until will go on top. Slowly see if the Congo who takes sees power. Don't know if that's gonna ever get changed once the other once the other Congo states get content. Would be interesting to see just what I'm interested to see on what a lot of these nations have in store once they get content. There's just some nations over here that I would like to be able to play one day. And it would be very interesting to see just what kind of content paths they can go down basically once they do get content. Give me a food, sorry. Let's get frogs with the frying pan. Goodness gracious, this is chaotic. Everybody calm down for heaven's sake. It isn't the end of the world, you see. The mods are getting a bit feisty over some of Flynn's reform. This isn't good for us, so let's start putting some heat on them. You didn't understand where we're coming from. Then they may start to chill out and work with us. Yeah, the moderates aren't too happy that we're making such radical reforms. And we basically are alienated in the right. With these socialist reforms of the socialist variety. The Kingdom of Korea. So yeah, this is if Imperial Japan falls to the revolution. This is if Imperial Japan wins, and they basically can self-govern with creating their own shogunate, really. Or they could submit. Pretty sure all the former territories can submit. I think 10, they can submit. Korea, they can 2. Taiwan doesn't. The Liberation Front over there won't because they don't like that whole colonialism stuff. Yeah, okay, that's gonna be a pain in the ass for them to deal with. Looks like the Manchu state will fall. Is that think? Ooh, that Lebanon is pretty thick. That's a good job, Lebanon. Mentioned to be up Syria. 1v1 in Syria. Huh. French mandate of Syria and Lebanon. Ah. Also Israeli immigrants. Wait. They went double black block. That's means they're gonna get. Means they're gonna be pretty bad. So. Yes, I didn't know that was a thing. But I didn't know that French Mayor Syria and Lebanon was the thing. It is interesting. Very, very interesting. Communal housing first success in a new housing program showing that we can start building entire new towns and even cities out of these houses. New communities shall be built on the promises of safe and happy living shall hold So we saw low and affordable rates. These new communities will showcase all that makes America great. Shared sense of community built by individual strength. And look at that. That is amazing. That is amazing. I'm like, God damn. Alright, let me get not aggression. How funny how the radical revolutionary anarchist and non-aggression better acceleration is. That's fascinating. Let's keep doing this. I've had fun. Tells you Regency. Regency, I don't know, that's the official name. It's called Fiume. The Caucasian General Government. Will they be able to, you know, break free from that? I have very little hope in that. Like, that reminds me. That means we're gonna have. There's 3 Ukraines now. Got the OG Ukraine, got Gray Ukraine, and we got Green Ukraine. Got all the cranes. So much cranes, like goddamn. There's a lot of Ukraine in there. Iceland on that. Housing projects. Educated land may approve the necessary to the city. By training everyone to watch, we can ensure that people will get better paying and more innovative jobs, and ensure that even those who do get jobs are smart enough to not get fooled by the bosses or educated workforce at the end of the plutocrats. We also still had understood isolation. Yeah, I think Flynn can't get rid of that. Hey, we get civil rights for all. Although I'm pretty sure the country will collapse before then. Oh. Interesting to say the least. Shooting. Now it's time of research because why the hell not? Something in the back burner at least. Asymmetric radar. You need a better radar. Sort of. Yeah, he's done all what we'll do. We're just sort of liberals. One of the better paths. Can't quite remember all the best and worst paths for a nation. So I get housing and building projects. Since a slum improvement, proven too many of the public housing is a solid method to deal with homelessness, which I begin to believe in more houses. Designed to be simple, comfortable, and cost effective. Every American should be able to be proud of homes and never again the way sleeping in the cold streets. Them streets. Slava is doing that. Yeah. Go after the Bulgaria. I think France can also do something as well. Push the United States to Congo. Despite the difficulties in which NATO found themselves in the foreign war, like seeing Southern energy conversion to Germany. Martin the movie. It's not pretty quiet actually. And the massive volume of the movie bit. I'll do that now and later because I'm going to fucking forget about it. Knowing me, I'm going to forget about that. Tucson, yeah. But I've seen you over there. And, yeah, that Baja. I have Regency's doing things over in there. And then they got Tucson, there's New Mexico. There's El Paso. There's a Navajo County, country, sorry. Gains, some improvements. To those who are homeless but still broken enough to live in slums, which poorly built, not well maintained, even racially segregated. Can't go any further. If we should invest in new low-income housing with better design structures, safer location, and no racial discrimination. Every person has a right to live safely, and this is one of the ways to ensure that. Yeah, this is giving stuff over to California. It's gonna increase that infrastructure a little bit more. It's gonna be good for us because California. It's where we want to be. And also, we get to see an American Unification event. Yay. Because we've seen the US collapse before, but we never seen them unified because I think they always seem to just entrench themselves. Governor of Vermont assassinated. I think this is the collapsing about to happen. I think this is about to happen. Anyways, the growing social disorder America has not been without bloodshed, even the high levels of the nation. A shockingly high-profile assassination, has taken place in New England. When identified anarchists are still claiming that shot and killed Governor George Aiken of Vermont. Relatively liberal Republican has been supportive of much of the JPP program for America, but clashed with the more heavy-handed initiatives of Flynn's administration had evidently made him a visible obstacle to some radicals on the ground. This has been a shock to much of the country amid the current chaos as Lieutenant Governor William Harry Wills takes up responsibilities of the deceased governor. A number of attitudes have hardened against the federal government. The perception goes that the JPP cannot protect even a reformist and liberal politician, or God forbid their supporting party militants if sided or crosses on someone like him, will be enough to satisfy these anarchists, whether it is the intent of the administration or not. The event had deeply divided between government and opposition. This may need proof fatal. I don't know if it will be, because I'm pretty sure that's the start of everything falling apart. Yugoslavia, big. Wow. They're blitzing right through. That is a quick war. Look at that. Look at that. Italy had no. Yep. So that's gonna be in very early Fiume unification, and yeah, I was correct. Collapse of the US of A has begun. So the first nation, Vermont declares independence from the USA. Bring reports come. While the summer we anticipate, still shocked that Governor William H. Woods has announced the of the Vermont Republic, backed by a wide spectrum of forces within the state. The government has stated that the good people of Vermont will not stand by idly and have their freedom destroyed by anarchists. Mismanagement in Mavu. Vermont does forge its own way, independent of Washington, to look after its own affairs. Governor Williams is technically not ruled out Vermont with Sandy Union once Sandy prevails once more, but this gesture is a gauntlet thrown down before the federal government. For the modern declaration of independence, when born other secessionists and rebels in the USA, it is all but certain that this will not be the end of the regime's troubles. The Vermont Republic and every time will likely have an interesting course to chart in the next few months. The disaster has begun. Or, may the 14th star shine bright. So yeah, they can choose whether to want a nation secede from the Union during this. You can choose whether to remain loyal or go with them. I'm gonna remain loyal for now. Meantime, I'm gonna make a save here real quick. Just in case. So yeah, the US of A is collapsing. Everything it's small now, but pretty soon we're going to be losing a whole lot more. Anyway, the declaration of the Emkoristayutstat, whatever that is. The United States Emergency Committee here. Will engage a new foe further away from the federal authority in the deep south. Establishment politicians and businesses have coordinated rival government and the anarchist experiment in the United States. State governments from Virginia and Mississippi, by owners' conviction or by military force, have thrown their weight behind the self-styled legitimist American government. Marine Captain George R. E. Shell is nominated as the interim leader by a coalition of opposition parties until new elections can be held. There is one consolation for the current American regime. The hastily assembled committee has thus far been sold to promote a program to unite citizens around, with the federal response to this escalation being hamstrung by chaotic transition to anarchistic rule. The ultimate path of the so-called emergency committee remains to be seen. Geographic position of the committee means that there is a strong chance it will become dominated by certain interests, whether they will continue to seek to restore a bourgeois government in the United States of America or reenact the things of Dixie remains to be seen. That's interesting. There's a lot of interesting states in the American collapse. It'll be interesting to see what else would be in store for the other separatists, really. Secessionists, whatever their future plans. A significant portion of the country has broken with the federal government. Oh, way down south, land of traitors. Yep, that's what it's to Union song. And now a new 1775. Oh yeah, this guy. Your boy. Howard Phillips Lovecraft. With the diecast, discontent New England has grown to a full rebellion. Many expected further turmoil and notice after the secession of Vermont. There's a rival government to be in the USA. Few likely expect this bargain by journalists. Howard Phillips Lovecraft, a nationally syndicated columnist and occasional short story author from Rhode Island, has been one of the most extremely public critic government features throughout government affairs after the Great Depression. His preoccupations with nativism and civilization being under threat have resonated with many who seem to care civil liberty in America, even more as with the current secessions. Additionally, an inner circle of authors and other public intellectuals known as Arkham Society, so Arkham Asylum, that's a video game, have reportedly been quite vocal in the military in the face of a potential outburst in anarchist agitation in the Northeast. organizes sympathetic locals to maintain order, but into a paralytic state of government. The governor's supporters have thrown down the gauntlet before the governors in New England. In an open letter accompanying his appearance in Boston, he called upon the governors of the remaining states to succeed under the new government, one that seemed likely he'll be playing a major role as a unified figure. The sudden declaration of secession has now given the states the final push to act against the federal government. New England's new nation, or perhaps a rival government to the USA, will likely be the center of power in American chaos. But the continued appearance of Vermont may suggest there's more to having a unified movement in government than simply saying it exists. I think there was a focus tree teaser for them. I thought I saw something about like a Lovecraft focus tree, but I don't quite know. I need to double check the set. I don't remember which one it was. But I'll double check the sites I know of to see if that was true. But anyway, alright, so a lot of trouble these days, even writers. Yeah. Craft, a fellow speed enthusiast of the National Rejuvenation Division. So yeah, we're not gonna do any focus C's. We're just gonna ride the wave of collapsing states. The Empire State declares independence. To make matters worse in the Northeast, the New York government has also declared secession from the United States, citing the chaos in the region and the federal instability to restore order. A provisional government led by former mayor frontrunner William O'Dyer mobilized the National Guard to protect the state from supposed brewing anarchist insurrection, as well as resistance being dragged away into any revolutionary war against fellow Americans to the east. Okay, yeah. Read that one. Sorry. To some extent, this is merit, given that much in New York City has been unwilling to accept full legality suspicious recognition on top of already existing left-wing sentiment. O'Dwyer introduced back at him by staying on top of powder cake, with declaration that made GPP stronger to separate from the federal government as well as much human industrial capital. More than New York government able to resist the undoubtedly forthcoming response. Additionally, can it result in social tension for the state? What would New York's place be in New England or New America for that matter? Cursing them. Yeah, it seems like New England might be eyeing up to them. Might be eyeing up these guys because they might be a potential unifier. These guys are definitely a potential unifier. Yeah, I think they are. Holocaust image enacted has long been rumored at the moment, reaching its secret plan to form their own country should things turn bad. About 1810, as point of reality, a plan called Protocol Image, named the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, has been enacted in the 15 days. The deserting Constitution, written in 1847, has been removed from the Gladys in the Utah governor's office, and declared that once more being effective, emergency elections were called in. The Council of 50, composed entirely of currently different states, the Senate and House of Representatives, have been elected. The United States Constitution has been stolen and moved to Salt Lake City to protect the holy document from the lawless. And the Supreme Court was appointed 3 more days. After taking the oath of office, Council President Grant offered a speech at a tightly packed Temple Square, which said, "The Theo-Democratic Republic of Desert will serve the bastion of order and religious liberty in the collapsing United States. Whether we shall restore the Union or take up her mantle as God's chosen republic in North America remains to be seen. Either way, our future is bright and anarchy will never threaten the saints again. I urge all saints who live under the boot of tyranny or in fear of lawlessness to come to Deseret to be free." Speech was on for another hour, and upon its completion, Temple Square erupted in cheers. None of us applause for another 10 minutes. They will only choose tyranny who must free them from themselves. Sound the holy battle cry, God and liberty. Big Deseret. Montenegro making moves. So I gotta say that was the fastest I've seen Feel mate. Breathing the League Solar beating lead. I don't think it was that fast. When we did it on the playthrough anyway. That's in the Imagine communities. The political vision do not come easily. Not easy for all lines of math. While most of the states are rising for the Americans appear to be continuous territories representing the interests of one people out there, the reality is never so simple. Truly down to the regions, states, a number of familiar tensions exist within the communities, urban, rural, left and right. The times of race and race depend on where you go, and these divided communities can cross out the borders to complicate matters. The black sharecropper in Alabama have more in common with the Leicester in Birmingham, or the non-sharecropper in Mississippi, and there's a coal miner in West Virginia find a common struggle with a tobacco farm in Kentucky. It's hardly a new line of thought whether champion pan-nationalism or solidarity of workers. But the of independence or overthrowing the federal government multiply, they find themselves crowding on the same stage to be heard. In the border between the states of Oregon and California, for instance, the rural and undeveloped communities there may share common grievances against similar foes. Ones that aren't in Washington. Don't tell me this is foreshadowing. Maybe. Declaration of the Kanawha. More and more ground continues to be contested in America where loyalties are split. Contests sometimes resolved belief for now the state of West Virginia and Kentucky on the southern fringe of the federal authority, bordering the Emergency Commission for the re-establishment of America to see on the joint administration. Heading back to a proposed name for what will eventually become West Virginia, it seems that the two states are reaching a solution to the instability and not. That match the neatly and governor of and former senator for West Virginia. Really match to sway enough people to its cause to become a farmland to the new regime. Kanawha seemed destined for a contentious time with a population divided by class and politics. The Holland County war between organized miners and the bosses has yet to abate. It may intensify as the new government is choosing to operate workers' rights. This being passed on to President Cox. Liberal militancy and harsh responsibility have a long history across the two states. These are certain times that the new state have a chance of survival. Say now, no neutrals in Harlan County. What side are you on? What side are you on? Yeah, so we got a bit of West Virginia and Kentucky. The rest of Virginia. Let's see here, yeah. We got mixed that infrastructure. We got almost max that infrastructure here. Over here. Kingdom of Hawaii. Now some more and more territory. Departure of territory is vital. What's perhaps expected. Well, move so going by the name of Hawaii with no sea to trace American corporate interests. At the Dole Food Company hired a protective militias indicated between a mass of Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, and Portuguese laborers that now motivated Native Hawaiians. So far away from American mainland, there's perhaps only one likely outcome. Far ranging from the royal order of Kamehameha. Yes, there is a name, but if you know, good for you. Having chosen its name as a warning to all would be contained with a to historical colonialism, archipelago, Teresa Owen fuck. As a message here, sir, the Clemens says the one line of Hawaii, the so-called Princess Teresa. This new leader of the country that has made to take decide what the shape of Hawaii government will be, but also continue with threats within and without, from corporate and white interests in pure powers. Can the independent kingdom of Hawaii prevent its name from becoming a cruel joke in the coming years? The American Empire continues to collapse. Don't know when America, when the event for California comes, but should be arriving here soon-ish. Missouri. Continue with the section of another state, Missouri. What's surprising to observe, the state is not along with any other contender for federal power. State by Nazi secession, Governor Lloyd C. Stark, a Democrat, the rather more progressive state party, being in better shape than the federal one, has declared the intent of Missouri to be left out in the combat east in Mississippi. For now, it seems most of its political odds opposition can return. In the case study in progressive area reforms, Missouri considers a hell of an agricultural and industrial agriculture industry in the Midwest, the Art Deco cityscape of Kansas City, the major site transportation be packing over. And we don't care what kind of disruption to break down America would cause from this report between Texas cattle herds and the eastern states. It's likely that Governor Stark or whoever replaces him, rather work out for him, observing the state's integrity in Missouri, may prove vital in other people's plans. That continues. There's a large amount of acceleration. There's a large amount. We're doing that. I'm making big gains. Emergency committee expands. Continue splintering America. Actors had reservations about the action being in hand for positions up fucking button that. Cases of Pacific Northwest reduced 14 out of the state capital. All was declared allegiance to the Emergency Committee for Re-establishment of America. It is a legitimist American practice every more state governors and businesses invite the military staff and stop the social conflict brewing in the region. The result thus far has been conclusive. Soldiers backed with ordnance dropped from the skies have launched a surprisingly corny strikes, series of countdowns in major cities, scattering the anarchists and pro-fearless militants. While Central Seattle, first Lieutenant Donald D. Zimmerman has declared the new allegiance is under his control, seeking the ally of the government Clements and Dixie to restore order in Washington. According to the in the case, the U.S. now matters. Not so simple. The geographic distance between the main line and Pacific Northwest emergency committees has prevented political unification between the two, and these unknown regional interests will come nominate the new one in the near future. Furthermore, the dazzling Hillbrand's initial restoration of order is unclear whether the anarchists have decisively defeated or whether other political movements will stay quiescent at the military or as national situation goes more and more chaotic. It's doubtful to find the Northwest will truly end. The action in the establishment splits like the Russian whites. Is this the Russian Civil War all over again? Rome wasn't later taken over. That's surprising. God, France took all that territory. Look at that. Look at that. That's when the volatile insurance thing starts. Yeah, I remember now. Who else comes next? Declaration of California independence. Yes, this is the one we're looking for. On the far side of the country, the federal capital greed inside the population. It was inevitable that California would become the center of power and the collapse in the USA. Declaration of Secession still made mind a shock, all the same. The city of Riverside chose a neutral ground for the big faction support. It's noticeably given the Mexican Wars. The location with the Anglophone name abroad. For the state Democratic and Republican parties, the Jobless Progressive Party under Upton's declared, and controversy the Spiritual Party under Edward Longstreet Bowden have come together to support California's exit from the Union. Thus far, the new perhaps reborn Republic of California has maintained existing state institutionalized charters new independent course. But this may not last. The large state with a varied population with varied ambition, with the recovery from the Great Depression nowhere near complete, California could have become the former USA in miniature. Dissent written basket case, right? But radical political solutions. Of course, the newly independent state citizens being a major contender power for the region. Eureka! So yeah, we are a hell of a lot of time. So yeah, California, and we. And finally, this is sadly not course of fate, but if you see my title, you know exactly what we're going for. As I said before, we might do this one another time. Anyhow, I am the man horse. I'll see you guys later for once we finally get this whole thing going. Till then, see ya.